A city council banned new data centers. And then approved one anyway. In Missouri, residents discovered 8 non-disclosure agreements signed behind closed doors. And across the country, more than 500 of the data centers now being planned are going up on land that has been in drought. Here's what is really happening behind the AI buildout. We begin in Marietta, Georgia, where a city council did something that will be very hard to explain to its own residents. Last month the council passed a 6-month moratorium on new data centers. This month, by a vote of 5-2, it approved one. The project rezones roughly 11 acres at 1155 Powers Ferry Place, near Delk Road and Interstate 75, converting part of an existing self-storage building into an 18-megawatt data center. The developer is Prime Group Holdings, a New York real estate firm. The moratorium did not apply, because the application had been filed before the freeze took effect. Outside City Hall, dozens of protesters chanted against the project, arguing it would raise utility bills, lower home values, and deliver almost none of the jobs promised. Inside, the debate turned into shouting. That anger is now moving out of council chambers and into courtrooms. In Independence, Missouri, a citizens group called the Independence Guard Alliance has gone to court to stop a hyperscale data center before another shovel goes into the ground. The project, backed by the AI firm Nebius, is planned for nearly 500 acres off Highway 78 and Bly Road. The lawsuit asks for a temporary restraining order and a preliminary injunction. And the allegations are specific. Plaintiffs say city leaders quietly rezoned the land from residential to industrial back in 2022 without notifying nearby homeowners. They say officials held a series of closed-door meetings and signed 8 separate non-disclosure agreements to move a massive power agreement through. And they say the city authorized tax-abated bonds and utility rate discounts for Nebius while residents received nothing. Neighbors describe constant noise, thick dust, and roads already breaking apart. Illinois residents are making a strikingly similar argument. 200 miles north, in Grayslake, Illinois, the Preservation of Community Well-Being Collective and 9 Lake County residents filed suit on July 31 against the village, against T5 data centers, and against Alter Asset Management. Their central claim is blunt. Grayslake's zoning code does not specifically allow data centers, so the village had no authority to approve one. They further allege officials violated the Illinois Open Meetings Act by handling deliberations in closed session and through private communications, and that the 2024 and 2025 approvals failed basic due process standards. They want a court to void those approvals outright, block further permits, and cancel the development agreement. The campus would cover up to 472 acres across 18 buildings. And early site work has already begun. In July, T5 withdrew a permit application to fill nearly 16 acres of wetland. The company says it remains fully committed. The reason these fights keep escalating is that the public often cannot see the numbers. In Louisiana, the Public Service Commission voted 3-1 to let Meta keep details about its Richland Parish data center confidential, overruling an administrative law judge who had subpoenaed the company for job and energy use data. That data is tied directly to Entergy's proposed $13 billion power plant build-out for the facility. An attorney for the Alliance for Affordable Energy argued the missing information was essential to judging whether Entergy's application should proceed at all. Commissioner Jean-Paul Cosin said the commission simply did not need it. Commissioner Devonte Lewis dissented, warning that Meta's billing agreements and the governor's related executive order cover only the first 15 to 20 years of power plants built to run for 30 to 40. leaving ratepayers holding the rest. Residents drove in from Shreveport, New Orleans and Baton Rouge to object. A trial is set for October. The grid is only half of this story. Water tells the other half. And the geography is genuinely startling. Of the 809 data centers currently planned across the United States, 517, about 2/3, are slated for land that has been in drought at some point over the past year. According to NOAA's National Integrated Drought Information System, a single large facility can require up to 5 million gallons of water a day for cooling. Roughly the daily use of a town of 50,000 people. Total American data center water demand could climb to 73 billion gallons a year by 2028, up from about 17 billion in 2023. And cooling is not even the biggest driver. Power generation accounts for roughly 54% of the additional water AI will demand by 2050, and semiconductor fabrication about 42%. Cooling is only 4%. State lawmakers are starting to respond. Local moratoriums are now so common that researchers count at least 225 of them across 30 states. But no state legislature in the country has ever passed one. And New Mexico is preparing to try. Representatives Angelica Rubio of Las Cruces and Michaela Lara Cadena of Mesilla say they will introduce a bill when the session opens on January 19 that would prohibit new large-scale data center projects while the state studies impacts on water, energy, emissions, and community benefit. Their immediate catalyst is Project Jupiter, a proposal near Santa Teresa that residents say has moved forward with very little transparency. The length is still being negotiated. Some lawmakers want 2 years. Some want 5, and a few are openly discussing a permanent ban. Republicans have pushed back hard, arguing a freeze would cost the state jobs and billions in investment. Meanwhile, ground is being broken anyway. Despite the moratoriums, the lawsuits, and the drought maps, construction is not slowing, it is scaling. In rural Millard County, Utah, Jewel Capital Partners held a groundbreaking ceremony for a combined energy and data center campus, spread across 4,000 acres, a site the county commission approved earlier this month. Fully built out, the campus is designed to reach roughly 4 gigawatts of power capacity, which would place it among the very largest data center developments in the United States. And by some measures the largest company. Representatives say they hope to begin initial on-site energy production by the end of this year, a timeline they concede is ambitious. This groundbreaking marks phase 1 only, with additional phases planned over the coming years. For a county of a few thousand people, the promise is jobs, training and tax base. The question residents keep asking is what 4 gigawatts does to everything else. And the money behind builds like this has just changed shape entirely. And here is where the whole build-out ultimately rests. NVIDIA has signed memorandums of understanding with Apollo, BlackRock, Blackstone, Brookfield, Goldman Sachs and KKR to mobilize more than $500 billion in third-party capital. The structure lets outside investors fund AI data centers built on NVIDIA hardware, keeping most of the debt off NVIDIA's own balance sheet. Chief Executive Jensen Huang has described the company's chips as an investable asset, essentially arguing that compute infrastructure can be borrowed against the way commercial real estate or toll roads are. Together those 6 firms manage trillions. But Huang also said NVIDIA may still backstop up to 25% of any given financing, which keeps circular financing concerns very much alive. The deeper risk is collateral. If a competing architecture or custom hyperscaler silicon causes older GPUs to lose residual value faster than lenders assumed, the assumptions underneath $500 billion start to move. Thanks for watching. If you found this useful, subscribe, leave a like, and drop a comment. It helps us cover more of these stories.